All right. Hey, what's happening? What's happening? It's all good. It's all good. Yeah, welcome. I think it's good to see everybody who is tuning in, and good Saturday it is to you. Good Saturday it is, and every Saturday, anytime between 7 o'clock, around about this time, I come out to you and we talk about life. We talk about real estate. In particularly, I just love real estate. This is what I do all the time. And I do real estate in South Africa, in many places, around about 5 cities. And I just want us to say to you, welcome. It's going to be an amazing next 30 minutes where we're going to be talking about real estate. Okay, good stuff. So today I've got a cool topic that I just want to share with you. And by the way, if you've never been here before, if you're watching us from Insta, from Facebook, wherever you're watching us from, this is what we call Pass It On. So I come out every Saturday at 7 o'clock and we start talking about passing it on. We speak about cool stuff around real estate and about life in general. And the reason, or should I say, what qualifies me to talk to you around this is because obviously I do real estate myself. And I'm in 5 cities, and we do real estate predominantly for buying, and we hold those properties. We don't sell them. Very seldomly I do sell, but in most cases we don't sell. Why do we not sell? Because we are looking for what is called legacy. We are looking for legacy, and we are looking for passive income. Yeah, passive income. And if you ever you're watching me from, let me know in the comments where you're watching me from. I've got two screens here, so I'm gonna jump in on one, and then I'll jump on onto the other one. I apologize last week. So last week we didn't come out, and the reason is that I spent some cool time in Cape Town. So I was down out in Cape Town. With my family and I, we hadn't traveled in a bit. Actually, I can say safely all of my team members that we have in M5 Property Addicts. A lot of us haven't been traveling, obviously, because of COVID. But we traveled down to Cape Town, and we were doing one of our programs, which is a partnership program in the M5. And there we were doing a 2-day training that we spent with people who are changing their lives. It's a 12 months program. Guys jump on, and around about 30 people, somewhere online, somewhere in the room. It was an amazing time to just see people's lives transformed, sucking in information and going out there and taking actions to change the course of their lives. And so this is what we do. So today in particular, I'm going to talk to a conversation. I saw an article recently in the Business Tech, and basically they were talking about how much do you need to retire on comfortably in South Africa. And it made me to think. It really made me to think. I'm like, okay, how much money do you need for you to retire in South Africa? And I got my notes here that I just want to jump into, and then we can talk to. And some of these things are literally extracted from that article. You can Google it, and you can see. I just have a different view in terms of how they see life, I see life very differently. And this is what I just want to share with you guys here. So very important to understand, what do we mean by retirement? Okay. What do we mean by retire? A place, a time when you don't want to go to work anymore. A place, a time when you don't want to work anymore. That is retirement, okay? So when is it a good time for you to retire? Only you knows that. The government has prescribed when people can retire. Men and women have different times in which you can retire. But it doesn't necessarily mean that that's the end and be all, isn't it? I've seen many people who are wealthy, especially the wealthy. They don't care. At 70, they're still working. At 80, they're still working. The question there is, why are they still working when they have reached a retirement? So the first question that I want to ask of you is, wherever you're watching me, does age matter in terms of your retirement, right? Does it matter to you? So give me a reason. Let me know, does age matter to you in terms of retirement? I've been privileged enough that I retired very early. So I personally retired. I don't call my work that I do work. I kind of like enjoy it. And the reason why I say I kind of like enjoy it is because I work with people, and people sometimes are difficult to work with. But in terms of waking up and going to work and getting an employment, I've been unemployable for the last 2.5 years, if not more. And I left my employer and I'm no longer employed. So I retired, right? But it doesn't mean that I don't work. So I do work, I work on my terms. Like, for instance, I just mentioned to you last weekend, my team and I, at Empire Property Addicts, we decided this is when we are going to do it. So we coupled in a bit of time of downtime where we spent some time together. If you follow me on my personal stuff, you would have seen some of the pictures that I posted when we were just having some cool time. And over and above that, we took time to also do work, but it wasn't pressed time to say, someone said we need to be there at a particular time, but it was the freedom of choice of when and how things are happening. So that's the first question that I want to ask of you, to say, if we're talking about how much should you be earning for you to retire comfortably, then we need to be answering the question of when should you be retiring, right? I did another video a couple of weeks ago where I was showing you exactly the step-by-step on how you can potentially retire in 5 years. So you buy a property once every year, but it's a particular property, so that you can retire comfortably. So in this article here that I read, they were talking about this principle that is called an 80% rule, right? 80% rule. I don't know how they come up with these things, but anyways, I'm going to tell you what it is. But I want to tell you guys a short story. As you know, some of you know that I was a banker. I used to work for the Red Bank, yes, ABSA, for many years. And with that, one day, I was literally leaving the bank, and there was an elderly guy. And that particular day, we shared an elevator going downstairs. And he then indicated to me that, sure, I've dreamt for this day to come. I said, why? And he says, I just retired today, so today is my last day. And with him, we were going downstairs, and there was a security guard with him. And what was the security guard doing with him? To escort him out of the building. Why? So that he could pick up his access card, right? And I said to myself, this guy been working for the bank for 40 years. So that's what he told me. So what's in it for him? A policy that he's been paying off, a retirement fund, or whatever it is. And what is he going to do? I don't know. Maybe he might start a small company of doing printing. I recently saw an elderly couple that started a printing company at one of the malls. There's another guy who started off, a retired guy. I saw him starting off a franchise recently, a Stairs franchise. Love Stairs chips, by the way. That's what I'm talking about them. But here's the thing. 40 years you are employed with an employer, and then you retire. And then you go and start something else, and that something else, maybe you're just wanting to while up time, but actually you're actually putting in time and learning some new skills, and maybe you could actually lose some money in it. I've got a great uncle of one of my uncles. He retired and he went on to open up a total garage in a very small town, and the traffic that used to come through there, it kind of like died out. So the resort that he was catching on the route, that route became the venue that we're talking about. It closed down, so traffic that used to pass through by him, it died. So eventually the total garage that he had, it literally stopped working. Or should I say, his income could not keep up with the expenses. So there was more expenses, and eventually it closed that. Why am I sharing this with you, all of these things? Because these people that I'm talking about, at a point, they thought that they had a plan in their retirement. So they worked hard all the way to around about 40, 50 years. And then thereafter, they decided, okay, now I've retired, so I can go out. So there's something else that I also want to mention here. You might be employed and your money is with someone else out there at a retirement fund or whatever it is. The question that I want to ask of you is, how safe is that money with you? Because if we are to look in many countries in Southern Africa, literally retirement funds have failed the people. So all of those monies has gone or they've eroded, and they're looking now at options where they can say, if we're not putting in money into retirement funds, what else can we put in? So that's not a sexy conversation that we're talking about today, but it's a very important conversation for you and I. So here's the other thing. For some people, they might actually think that, when you retire, this is someone that is very close to me. He's got two girl children. And he said to me, his retirement is his kids. And I was like, what do you mean by that? And he says, well, some guy is going to come in and he's going to pay lobola, and that lobola is going to be his retirement. Right. These are all strategies, right? These are all strategies for people going into retirement. The question that I want to ask to answer today is, how much is it? How much money do you actually need to retire comfortably in South Africa? So let's go back to that 80% rule that they were talking about. So this 80% rule says that it's a solution. Apparently, they utilize this solution in many places. Millions. They're utilizing millions and millions of money in here. So they say this 80% solution is whatever you're earning today, you need to be saving. You need to be able to save so that when it comes through into the future, at least you can bank 80% of your income. So let's assume you are on 10,000 Rand today. 10,000, 80% of it, that's what you need in your retirement. So that's around about 8,000 Rand, okay? And they're saying that if you can afford to get to 8,000 Rand, then you're in a good space because you can retire. Well, I kind of disagree with that. Why? Because I've seen my uncle that hasn't worked. I've seen my mom that hasn't worked. And I don't know. Maybe you've got parents, are they in retirement, or you've got grandparents or something like that. The question that I want to ask of you is, what do you see with the people that have retired in your space? Whether they have retired within the last 2 years, 5 years, I don't know. But whatever that you're seeing, are you doing things differently to make sure that you are not going to be in the same space? So definitely, you all know that my mom stays with me. So definitely, I wouldn't like to be dependent on my kids. So I don't want that. And neither am I saying that I'm not happy to look after my mom. I'm totally happy to do that. I'm giving back for what she gave me. She's my foster mom. She looked after me when nobody else could look after me. So I feel privileged to be looking after her. However, truth be told, her retirement plan is not intact, because if she had a good retirement plan intact, had she planned it properly or done something else differently, definitely I'll be looking after her from another place, and out of love be giving her additional stuff, but she'll be looked after. So here's some of the other things that you might need to look after, right? So we're talking here about how much do you need. So I am against the fact that you need to be working 40 years for an employer for you to retire. That's number one. I don't believe that. I don't subscribe to that YouTube channel or that WhatsApp. I don't. I'm of the view that you need to find what you love, chase what you love, and make sure that that passion can give you the returns that you want for you to be able to live. So if you're a runner, if you're an athlete, just go and run. and not be employed at Absa or anywhere else. By the way, I am not anti-working. I love working. I still work today. I work more hours than many people that are actually employed today. But for me, it is not work. It's what I enjoy doing, right? I enjoy building up businesses. I enjoy taking people from nothing to somebody, making sure that there's money on the table. I enjoy that. So it's not work for me. I long retired from my employer. So let's come back to this 80% rule. 80% rule, they're saying that you are earning 10,000 today, tomorrow you can safely live off on 8,000. But we all know there is that big brother that's called inflation, right? We all know that. Inflation, will it be the same today and when you retire? I don't know. Nobody knows the future. Will the market still be stable as it is today? I don't know. I don't know the future, and so do you, right? But there is something that I also want to ask of you. In terms of your health circumstances, will your health circumstances be the same today and a little bit later? I don't know. I also don't know about mine. Here's another thing. You may have kids today, and those kids may pass on, but leave you with their kids. So which means that you may need to be looking after extended relatives or extended family members. We don't know what life will throw at us. But the bottom line is that we need to be asking ourselves to say, how much money do you need to retire comfortably? So I've got a different solution from what I have read from the newspapers. And my solution is very much around what is it that I can do today that I know factually in the last couple of years, it's been stable, it has continued being stable, and it will continue being stable, right? What is that? Okay, so number one, what I'll do is I will buy an asset on my own. I'll buy an asset. What kind of an asset would this be? By the way, a car is not an asset, right? But by definition, if it's bringing you money, it's an asset, right? But the car then depreciate over time, so it's a different asset. So what am I talking about here? I would say I want to go and buy a property. I want to go and buy a property on my own. If I buy a property on my own, what then happens? It means that in today's life, I'm buying it 100,000 Rand, just an example. But with inflation, my asset actually appreciates, and sometimes it actually beats the inflation. So which means that the value of my asset is giving me a true value of my 100,000. So if I were to put the same 100,000, let's say at a policy, retirement fund or anything like that, potentially they're giving you maybe around about a 4 or 5%, even a little bit less today. And with inflation, you're probably making no money. So are you making a retirement plan? Are you contributing to the 8,000 that you want to be earning at the end of the day? It's a question. Today I'm just full of questions, isn't it? Right? Yeah. This is for me to position to you to say, hey, Uncle TJ is thinking about you, and I want you to change your thinking about your life tomorrow. And if you don't do it today, then your tomorrow is not great. I've been doing it. I've been changing to see. So my journey started off from how can I help myself first? So I want to help you to help your first. If you can help yourself today and get some cash flow, some income, if you're already earning 10,000 Rand at your employer, I want you to earn 5,000 Rand on the side whilst you're still earning at your employer. Tomorrow, I want you to earn 10,000 Rand. Why am I saying that? Because if you have to earn exactly the same amount of money, that's what I call freedom, financial freedom 101. Okay? I've achieved that. You too can achieve that. The business that I've got, we just buy properties and we hold them. And people then pay off our debt and people pay us, and then I get rent The rental income then pays me. Whilst I'm doing that all this time, the property is appreciating. So remember that word, appreciate. Not so many assets out there appreciate as good as properties, okay? And if you're looking after them also, what basically happens is that they continue giving you. And as I go along with my conversation, if you've got any questions, just drop them in the comments, and I'll get those answers out to you. All right. So the first solution that I spoke about is that I will buy an asset, okay, a property. I'll go and buy a property by myself, and I want you guys to think about it this way, right? Let's assume that you've got an unborn child. You know that you've got a baby coming up this year, and you literally go and buy a property for 100,000. So you're paying in 100 rand on that property with a 10% interest, and you don't stay in that property, and then you put in another tenant in there, and that tenant, let's say, pays you exactly 100 rand. Okay. Now, for the next 20 years, that property's value won't be 100,000. It'll probably be like 250 or somewhere there, right? Go and check the stats. Improvements of properties over a horizon of 20 years in South Africa. Check. On Property 24, they show you all of those trends, okay? Just Google trends, property, you'll see it. Now, over and above that, someone else has been paying off your bond. Nothing, no money has been coming out of your pocket. And now your child is 20 years old. And now your child is 20 years old. They are in university maybe for the first year. Boom. You give them that property. Or you sell it if you want to sell. I mean, not in the game of selling, so I don't advocate for that. Or you continue holding it. Or you refinance. There's so many things that you can do. Come on, guys. You see what I'm talking about? Now, all of a sudden, 20 years from now, potentially you are still employed for 20 years now. If you do that with another property after you've finished paying your property number one, and you can do it on another property. So it basically means that by the time you retire, you've got two properties that are fully paid off. You didn't pay for them, someone else paid it for you. And over and above that, if this was a property number one for your child, you can pass it on to your child, legacy. And property number two will pay you, plus your policies and your retirement funds and all of these things that you want. But you're not in control with all of those things. I want you to be in control. That's why I'm giving you all of these suggestions. Okay, idea number two. So we said buy an asset on your own. Buy an asset with others. So buy a property with others. FNB recently came out and they said up to around about 8-12 people, they can buy a property together, or invest with others, or invest with investors that are experienced, right? It's the same effect. The only difference is that you may not be doing the job, but just make sure that whoever that you're investing with, they understand the property game, and you are also happy to be investing with them, right? The other thing, the last thing is you can invest directly, right, onto an asset. So you can invest directly onto an asset. So why am I asking you to invest in assets? Number one, they appreciate. So as the years go by, you're making money. And then number two, with all of these policies that you may have that we are all accustomed to take, that we have no idea what they're doing, and our employers force us to get them, it can be all a bonus. So you are not reliant on that, okay? And the last one is that there is no limit at all. You have no limit in terms of how many properties you can buy. At the moment, we've got just above 300 tenants for students, 200 no more tenants. We continue buying. Next year, I'm going to double those figures. We continue buying as a business. I've made this a business. Now you can make yours a business as well. I haven't even started talking about taxes that you can write off. I haven't started talking about the other benefit of running it in a business. But the question that I was answering today is, how much do you need? So if you have to follow the strategies that I was talking about today, do you see that the 8,000 that we were talking about literally becomes nothing now? Yeah. Okay, good. I'm gonna go to some of my comments. Let me see here. Awesome stuff. Yeah, let's see. A couple of people here. Let's see. I got a couple of people that are all over here. Let's see. I'm gonna jump into my other screen here. Okay, good. Right. Okay, I get someone here that they are asking, hey, how's it going? How's it going? I'm watching for the first time. Hey, Nobuta, how's it going from Cape Town? Welcome, welcome. They're watching us for the first time here. But good to have you. We are here every Saturday. Okay. And then Tumi says, I've been working for 18 years, TJ. And yes, it matters to me that I retire in the next 3 years. Working as per someone's conditions for this long time feels like slavery to me. Look, this is Tumi Mwake. This touches my soul, man. And I will still not live comfortably and doubt free. I'm tired. I feel like I work to pay off debt, not enjoying the money anyway. My salary is kept and retirement fund is not guaranteed. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know, like this is Tumi just spoke to my heart right now. Like, this is the reason why I come out and talk and just tell you what I'm doing. I'm not a financial advisor, but there is Tumi, she's feeling it. And it's sad. It's really is sad. Recently, the government announced that they're going to be giving out or extend, they're issuing out the 350 Rand per month. I think it's a grant or whatever that they're giving out. But it's better than nothing, yes. That I guarantee, I totally get it. But what is 350? It's nothing, is it? But now the question that I want to ask of you, knowing that, having lived this, are you prepared to go and do what it takes to change the life that you want to live, to change the circumstances of what's surrounding you right now? And I'm just offering you here, property is just an example, right? There could be other many options here, but I'm guaranteed from a property perspective because I live it. Okay, awesome stuff. I'm gonna jump onto another screen here. Someone else here is yeah, Boss Gail G. Hi to me. It's never too late to start up. Some great encouragement coming through from Boss Gail. Thank you very much. Does the M5 have WhatsApp group or any other number that can be called? Yeah, you can reach us on email, Nobuhle. We are on email, info@m5 Property Addicts. I'm gonna just jump on. Those are some of the comments that I had on Facebook, and right, I'm gonna jump into Insta. The guys on Insta, how's it going? How's it going? KG Live, what's happening, man? Sutu Gold. Hey, guys got amazing names here now on Insta. All right. I am. Portia, how's it going? Dr. Legendary, how's it going? Okay, brilliant. Baloy, how's it going? Yusuf. Terry, what's happening, man? Tauya. Okay, Uncle Terry. Yeah. Okay. I don't see any comments here. Oh, Stephanas, how's it going, man? I'm thinking of taking a mortgage to buy a rental property. Do you think it is a good idea? Hey, this is what we do. This is what we do all the time, man. It's a brilliant idea. Run your numbers. Understand that the deal that you're going into is going to give you money. Preferably, can it give you money from day number one? And if the answer is yes, then yeah, go for it. We do that all the time. We specialize in affordable housing. We specialize in student accommodation. And that's what we do for a living, man. We live off these properties and they continue giving us as well. Okay, I'm just jumping on here. All right, no any other questions online? Hey, ladies and gentlemen, it's been great hanging out with you today. But I'm gonna hang out online as well. If this has been beneficiary to you, and you think that someone else can benefit from it, on two places, on Instagram and together on YouTube. And if you're not on YouTube, we are M5 Property Addicts at YouTube. Come and grab share the link, and then take the link and go and share it to on your page or wherever it is, so that we can pass on the information. This is all about pass it on, remember? So this is pass it on. What is pass it on? I got the knowledge from someone. Okay, I'm learning, I'm doing, so I've got the knowledge. And as I give the knowledge to you, don't be a bottleneck, pass it on. So you pass it on to others, and together we can all be changed. All right, cool. Let me go here. All right. No one else, no any other comments there. So yeah, thanks very much for watching. We will check you out again next Saturday on Pass It on another powerful Pass It On. And thanks for the love, thanks for the comments, and I will chat with you again.